Nusantara, the nation of the Garuda. Garuda.
Selamat datang di tanah tercinta, langit memanggilnya, tanah Nusantara. Selamat datang di agungnya nirmala Nusantara.
Setiap langkah yang ditempuh untuk mewujudkan impian di masa depan bukanlah hal yang mudah. Perjalanan panjang dilalui, mengharuskan setiap insan mengeksplorasi ilmu lebih dalam. Masa depan selalu terbuka untuk setiap insan menemukan potensi sejati. Universitas Islam Negeri Syarif Hidayatullah hadir sebagai perguruan tinggi bereputasi global dengan keunggulan integrasi keislaman, keindonesiaan, dan sains. Kami percaya akan menghasilkan insan yang kreatif, inovatif, berbasis teknologi informasi yang religius, dan memiliki daya saing dalam dunia global. Mahasiswa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki semangat dan itikat yang besar, berasal dari berbagai daerah di pelosok Indonesia, serta belahan dunia beragam suku, budaya, dan agama. Menciptakan pencapaian nasional untuk langkah pertama dalam membangun prestasi di tingkat internasional. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah telah bekerja sama dengan institusi luar negeri, kementerian dan lembaga serta pemerintah daerah guna meningkatkan proses pembelajaran. Melalui program-program unggulan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat membantu setiap insan dalam meraih impian. Dengan kurikulum dan fasilitas belajar online yang mumpuni, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah terus beradaptasi dengan penerapan proses pembelajaran berbasis digital. Langkah bijak menuju masa depan berkelanjutan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah menyediakan ruang terbuka hijau bagi sivitas akademika dalam mendukung pelestarian lingkungan. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki 12 fakultas dan 1 sekolah pasca sarjana yang berkomitmen dalam studi Islam dan sains, guna memperkuat pendidikan dan profesi, meningkatkan kualitas dan kuantitas sumber daya manusia berbasis riset, hingga memperkuat integrasi ilmu dan agama. Kolaborasi antara mahasiswa dan masyarakat menciptakan terobosan yang dapat meningkatkan ketaatan pada nilai-nilai keislaman dan kemanusiaan.
Universitas Islam Negeri atau UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta merupakan salah satu perguruan tinggi keagamaan Islam terbaik dan unggul di Indonesia. Sebagai perguruan tinggi Islam, kami menyelenggarakan program pendidikan yang mengintegrasikan antara keilmuan Islam dan keilmuan umum dengan mendasarkan pada nilai-nilai kemanusiaan, keindonesiaan, dan kemodernan. Karena itu, untuk mencapai visi misi tersebut, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta mempersiapkan mahasiswa agar berpengetahuan luas, berkarakter, serta berakhlak mulia. Sebagai lembaga pendidikan Islam, kami juga memberikan layanan dan fasilitas kegiatan akademik dan non-akademik yang memadai, sehingga para mahasiswa dapat mengembangkan disiplin keilmuan mereka, baik soft skill maupun hard skill. Kami juga memberikan pelayanan mahasiswa dengan service excellent. Hal itu bertujuan agar kegiatan belajar mengajar dengan sistem daring dan luring dapat berjalan dengan baik serta memuaskan semua pihak. Selain itu, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta juga terus memperkuat reputasi kelembagaan dengan menjalin kerjasama dengan berbagai pihak di bidang tridharma perguruan tinggi, baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Kami yakin bahwa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta akan terus menjadi perguruan tinggi Islam terkemuka dan diakui secara internasional.
Keberhasilan UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat dilihat dari munculnya alumni yang menjadi tokoh-tokoh bangsa, pejabat negara, intelektual muslim dan politisi yang memiliki reputasi nasional hingga internasional. Cita-cita pendidikan tak terhingga, seperti langit yang tidak pernah berakhir. Kami melihat masa depan yang penuh harapan, di mana setiap insan memiliki kesempatan yang sama untuk mencapai impiannya.
Join the most disciplined institution in Kenya. Our goal at the Islamic University of Kenya is to help you prosper in the job market by developing both your career and your character. Our campuses offer the best academic environment while also allowing students to live and interact with people from all walks of life. Did you know you could attend the Islamic University of Kenya from anywhere in the world? The IUK Online Distance and E-Learning Campus, often known as ODEL, allows you to attend our university from wherever you are at your leisure and comfort. Overcome the challenges of distance, time, or work in completing your next academic step. Enroll in a bachelor's degree, diploma, or certificate program at the Islamic University of Kenya ODEL campus. The Islamic University of Kenya offers the following programs. At the School of Business and Economic, we offer Bachelor of Business Management, Diploma in Business Information Technology, Diploma in Islamic Banking and Finance, Certificate in Business Management, and Certificate in Islamic Banking and Finance. The School of Sharia and Arabic Studies offers Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Sharia, Bachelor of Arts in Arabic Language, Diploma in Arabic Language and Islamic Studies, Certificate in Arabic Language and Islamic Studies. Become a secondary school teacher by enrolling in the IUK School of Education Arts. The subjects of study for teaching combination include history, geography, Islamic religious studies, business, mathematics, Arabic language, Kiswahili language, English language, and literature. We also offer postgraduate diploma for professionals who wish to change career to high school teachers. At the School of Informatics and Technology, we offer Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. To join a degree program, the minimum requirement is a mean grade of C+ and above in KCSE or an equivalent. To join the diploma courses, you must have a mean grade of C- or its equivalent. For certificate courses, a minimum of D+ in KCSE or an equivalent of the same is required. If you would like to join directly for physical campus classes, then join IUK main campus located in Kisaju along the Nairobi-Namanga Highway, or Nairobi Learning Center in South Sea, and Mombasa Learning Center in Mombasa along Malango Wa Papa Road. We also offer evening classes and weekend classes at our Nairobi South Sea Learning Center and Mombasa Learning Center. For more information, call us or send a WhatsApp message on either 07 07 267 957 or 07 163332. You can also send an email at admissions@iuk.ac.ke. Islamic University of Kenya, Ethics, Quality, Research.
Nusantara, the nation of the Garuda. Garuda.
Sang penulis telah mati, sang pemimpi telah lahir di antara ribuan batu, terukir indah jejak langkah kisahnya. Matahari telah berjanji, sang purnama telah berbakti. Kemana kau sempat tak pergi? Akankah semua kan kembali abadi? Selamat datang di tanah tercinta, langit memanggilnya, tanah Nusantara. Selamat datang di agungnya nirmala Nusantara.
Setiap langkah yang ditempuh untuk mewujudkan impian di masa depan bukanlah hal yang mudah. Perjalanan panjang dilalui, mengharuskan setiap insan mengeksplorasi ilmu lebih dalam. Masa depan selalu terbuka untuk setiap insan menemukan potensi sejati. Universitas Islam Negeri Syarif Hidayatullah hadir sebagai perguruan tinggi bereputasi global dengan keunggulan integrasi keislaman, keindonesiaan, dan sains. Kami percaya akan menghasilkan insan yang kreatif, inovatif, berbasis teknologi informasi yang religius, dan memiliki daya saing dalam dunia global. Mahasiswa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki semangat dan iktikat yang besar, berasal dari berbagai daerah di pelosok Indonesia, serta belahan dunia beragam suku, budaya, dan agama. Menciptakan pencapaian nasional untuk langkah pertama dalam membangun prestasi di tingkat internasional. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah telah bekerja sama dengan institusi luar negeri, kementerian dan lembaga serta pemerintah daerah guna meningkatkan proses pembelajaran. Melalui program-program unggulan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat membantu setiap insan dalam meraih impian. Dengan kurikulum dan fasilitas belajar online yang mumpuni, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah terus beradaptasi dengan penerapan proses pembelajaran berbasis digital. Langkah bijak menuju masa depan berkelanjutan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah menyediakan ruang terbuka hijau bagi sivitas akademika dalam mendukung pelestarian lingkungan. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki 12 fakultas dan 1 sekolah pasca sarjana yang berkomitmen dalam studi Islam dan sains, guna memperkuat pendidikan dan profesi, meningkatkan kualitas dan kuantitas sumber daya manusia berbasis riset, hingga memperkuat integrasi ilmu dan agama. Kolaborasi antara mahasiswa dan masyarakat menciptakan terobosan yang dapat meningkatkan ketaatan pada nilai-nilai keislaman dan kemanusiaan.
Universitas Islam Negeri atau UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta merupakan salah satu perguruan tinggi keagamaan Islam terbaik dan unggul di Indonesia. Sebagai perguruan tinggi Islam, kami menyelenggarakan program pendidikan yang mengintegrasikan antara keilmuan Islam dan keilmuan umum dengan mendasarkan pada nilai-nilai kemanusiaan, keindonesiaan, dan kemodernan. Karena itu, untuk mencapai visi misi tersebut, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta mempersiapkan mahasiswa agar berpengetahuan luas, berkarakter, serta berakhlak mulia. Sebagai lembaga pendidikan Islam, kami juga memberikan layanan dan fasilitas kegiatan akademik dan non-akademik yang memadai, sehingga para mahasiswa dapat mengembangkan disiplin keilmuan mereka, baik soft skill maupun hard skill. Kami juga memberikan pelayanan mahasiswa dengan service excellent. Hal itu bertujuan agar kegiatan belajar mengajar dengan sistem daring dan luring dapat berjalan dengan baik serta memuaskan semua pihak. Selain itu, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta juga terus memperkuat reputasi kelembagaan dengan menjalin kerjasama dengan berbagai pihak di bidang tridharma perguruan tinggi, baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Kami yakin bahwa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta akan terus menjadi perguruan tinggi Islam terkemuka dan diakui secara internasional.
Keberhasilan UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat dilihat dari munculnya alumni yang menjadi tokoh-tokoh bangsa, pejabat negara, intelektual muslim dan politisi yang memiliki reputasi nasional hingga internasional. Cita-cita pendidikan tak terhingga, seperti langit yang tidak pernah berakhir. Kami melihat masa depan yang penuh harapan, di mana setiap insan memiliki kesempatan yang sama untuk mencapai impiannya.
Join the most disciplined institution in Kenya. Our goal at the Islamic University of Kenya is to help you prosper in the job market by developing both your career and your character. Our campuses offer the best academic environment while also allowing students to live and interact with people from all walks of life. Did you know you could attend the Islamic University of Kenya from anywhere in the world? The IUK Online, Distance, and E-Learning Campus, often known as ODEL, allows you to attend our university from wherever you are at your leisure and comfort. Overcome the challenges of distance, time, or work in completing your next academic step. Enroll in a bachelor's degree, diploma, or certificate program at the Islamic University of Kenya ODEL campus. The Islamic University of Kenya offers the following programs. At the School of Business and Economic, we offer Bachelor of Business Management, Diploma in Business Information Technology, Diploma in Islamic Banking and Finance, Certificate in Business Management, and Certificate in Islamic Banking and Finance. The School of Sharia and Arabic Studies offers Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Sharia, Bachelor of Arts in Arabic Language, Diploma in Arabic Language and Islamic Studies, Certificate in Arabic Language and Islamic Studies. Become a secondary school teacher by enrolling in the IUK School of Education Arts. The subjects of study for teaching combination include history, geography, Islamic religious studies, business, mathematics, Arabic language, Kiswahili language, English language, and literature.
We also offer postgraduate diploma for professionals who wish to change career to high school teachers. At the School of Informatics and Technology, we offer Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. To join a degree program, the minimum requirement is a mean grade of C+ and above in KCSE or an equivalent. To join the diploma courses, you must have a mean grade of C- or its equivalent. For certificate courses, a minimum of D+ in KCSE or an equivalent of the same is required. If you would like to join directly for physical campus classes, then join IUK main campus located in Kisaju along the Nairobi-Namanga Highway, or Nairobi Learning Center in South Sea, and Mombasa Learning Center in Mombasa along Malongo Wa Papa Road. We also offer evening classes and weekend classes at our Nairobi South Sea Learning Center and Mombasa Learning Center. For more information, call us or send a WhatsApp message on either 07 07 267 957 or 07 163332. You can also send an email at admissions@iuk.ac.ke. Islamic University of Kenya, Ethics, Quality, Research.
Nusantara, the nation of the Garuda.
Setiap langkah yang ditempuh untuk mewujudkan impian di masa depan bukanlah hal yang mudah. Perjalanan panjang dilalui, mengharuskan setiap insan mengeksplorasi ilmu lebih dalam. Masa depan selalu terbuka untuk setiap insan menemukan potensi sejati. Universitas Islam Negeri Syarif Hidayatullah hadir sebagai perguruan tinggi bereputasi global dengan keunggulan integrasi keislaman, keindonesiaan, dan sains. Kami percaya akan menghasilkan insan yang kreatif, inovatif, berbasis teknologi informasi yang religius, dan memiliki daya saing dalam dunia global. Mahasiswa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki semangat dan itikat yang besar, berasal dari berbagai daerah di pelosok Indonesia, serta belahan dunia beragam suku, budaya, dan agama. Menciptakan pencapaian nasional untuk langkah pertama dalam membangun prestasi di tingkat internasional. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah telah bekerja sama dengan institusi luar negeri, kementerian dan lembaga serta pemerintah daerah guna meningkatkan proses pembelajaran. Melalui program-program unggulan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat membantu setiap insan dalam meraih impian. Dengan kurikulum dan fasilitas belajar online yang mumpuni, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah terus beradaptasi dengan penerapan proses pembelajaran berbasis digital. Langkah bijak menuju masa depan berkelanjutan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah menyediakan ruang terbuka hijau bagi sivitas akademika dalam mendukung pelestarian lingkungan. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki 12 fakultas dan 1 sekolah pasca sarjana yang berkomitmen dalam studi Islam dan sains, guna memperkuat pendidikan dan profesi, meningkatkan kualitas dan kuantitas sumber daya manusia berbasis riset, hingga memperkuat integrasi ilmu dan agama. Kolaborasi antara mahasiswa dan masyarakat menciptakan terobosan yang dapat meningkatkan ketaatan pada nilai-nilai keislaman dan kemanusiaan.
Universitas Islam Negeri atau UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta merupakan salah satu perguruan tinggi keagamaan Islam terbaik dan unggul di Indonesia. Sebagai perguruan tinggi Islam, kami menyelenggarakan program pendidikan yang mengintegrasikan antara keilmuan Islam dan keilmuan umum dengan mendasarkan pada nilai-nilai kemanusiaan, keindonesiaan, dan kemodernan. Karena itu, untuk mencapai visi misi tersebut, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta mempersiapkan mahasiswa agar berpengetahuan luas, berkarakter, serta berakhlak mulia. Sebagai lembaga pendidikan Islam, kami juga memberikan layanan dan fasilitas kegiatan akademik dan non-akademik yang memadai, sehingga para mahasiswa dapat mengembangkan disiplin keilmuan mereka, baik soft skill maupun hard skill. Kami juga memberikan pelayanan mahasiswa dengan service excellent. Hal itu bertujuan agar kegiatan belajar mengajar dengan sistem daring dan luring dapat berjalan dengan baik serta memuaskan semua pihak. Selain itu, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta juga terus memperkuat reputasi kelembagaan dengan menjalin kerjasama dengan berbagai pihak di bidang tridharma perguruan tinggi, baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Kami yakin bahwa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta akan terus menjadi perguruan tinggi Islam terkemuka dan diakui secara internasional.
Keberhasilan UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat dilihat dari munculnya alumni yang menjadi tokoh-tokoh bangsa, pejabat negara, intelektual muslim dan politisi yang memiliki reputasi nasional hingga internasional. Cita-cita pendidikan tak terhingga, seperti langit yang tidak pernah berakhir. Kami melihat masa depan yang penuh harapan, di mana setiap insan memiliki kesempatan yang sama untuk mencapai impiannya.
Join the most disciplined institution in Kenya. Our goal at the Islamic University of Kenya is to help you prosper in the job market by developing both your career and your character. Our campuses offer the best academic environment while also allowing students to live and interact with people from all walks of life. Did you know you could attend the Islamic University of Kenya from anywhere in the world? The IUK Online Distance and E-Learning Campus, often known as ODEL, allows you to attend our university from wherever you are at your leisure and comfort. Overcome the challenges of distance, time, or work in completing your next academic step. Enroll in a bachelor's degree, diploma, or certificate program at the Islamic University of Kenya ODEL campus. The Islamic University of Kenya offers the following programs. At the School of Business and Economic, we offer Bachelor of Business Management, Diploma in Business Information Technology, Diploma in Islamic Banking and Finance, Certificate in Business Management, and Certificate in Islamic Banking and Finance. The School of Sharia and Arabic Studies offers Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Sharia, Bachelor of Arts in Arabic Language, Diploma in Arabic Language and Islamic Studies, Certificate in Arabic Language and Islamic Studies. Become a secondary school teacher by enrolling in the IUK School of Education Arts. The subjects of study for teaching combination include history, geography, Islamic religious studies, business, mathematics, Arabic language, Kiswahili language, English language, and literature.
We also offer postgraduate diploma for professionals who wish to change career to high school teachers. At the School of Informatics and Technology, we offer Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. To join a degree program, the minimum requirement is a mean grade of C+ and above in KCSE or an equivalent. To join the diploma courses, you must have a mean grade of C- or its equivalent. For certificate courses, a minimum of D+ in KCSE or an equivalent of the same is required. If you would like to join directly for physical campus classes, then join IUK main campus located in Kisaju along the Nairobi-Namanga Highway, or Nairobi Learning Center in South Sea, and Mombasa Learning Center in Mombasa along Malongo Wa Papa Road. We also offer evening classes and weekend classes at our Nairobi South Sea Learning Center and Mombasa Learning Center. For more information, call us or send a WhatsApp message on either 07 07 267 957 or 07 163332. You can also send an email at admissions@iuk.ac.ke. Islamic University of Kenya, Ethics, Quality, Research.
Nusantara, the nation of the Garuda.
Setiap langkah yang ditempuh untuk mewujudkan impian di masa depan bukanlah hal yang mudah. Perjalanan panjang dilalui, mengharuskan setiap insan mengeksplorasi ilmu lebih dalam. Masa depan selalu terbuka untuk setiap insan menemukan potensi sejati. Universitas Islam Negeri Syarif Hidayatullah hadir sebagai perguruan tinggi bereputasi global dengan keunggulan integrasi keislaman, keindonesiaan, dan sains. Kami percaya akan menghasilkan insan yang kreatif, inovatif, berbasis teknologi informasi yang religius, dan memiliki daya saing dalam dunia global. Mahasiswa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki semangat dan iktikat yang besar, berasal dari berbagai daerah di pelosok Indonesia, serta belahan dunia beragam suku, budaya, dan agama. Menciptakan pencapaian nasional untuk langkah pertama dalam membangun prestasi di tingkat internasional. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah telah bekerja sama dengan institusi luar negeri, kementerian dan lembaga serta pemerintah daerah guna meningkatkan proses pembelajaran. Melalui program-program unggulan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat membantu setiap insan dalam meraih impian. Dengan kurikulum dan fasilitas belajar online yang mumpuni, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah terus beradaptasi dengan penerapan proses pembelajaran berbasis digital. Langkah bijak menuju masa depan berkelanjutan, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah menyediakan ruang terbuka hijau bagi sivitas akademika dalam mendukung pelestarian lingkungan. UIN Syarif Hidayatullah memiliki 12 fakultas dan 1 sekolah pasca sarjana yang berkomitmen dalam studi Islam dan sains, guna memperkuat pendidikan dan profesi, meningkatkan kualitas dan kuantitas sumber daya manusia berbasis riset, hingga memperkuat integrasi ilmu dan agama. Kolaborasi antara mahasiswa dan masyarakat menciptakan terobosan yang dapat meningkatkan ketaatan pada nilai-nilai keislaman dan kemanusiaan.
Universitas Islam Negeri atau UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta merupakan salah satu perguruan tinggi keagamaan Islam terbaik dan unggul di Indonesia. Sebagai perguruan tinggi Islam, kami menyelenggarakan program pendidikan yang mengintegrasikan antara keilmuan Islam dan keilmuan umum dengan mendasarkan pada nilai-nilai kemanusiaan, keindonesiaan, dan kemodernan. Karena itu, untuk mencapai visi misi tersebut, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta mempersiapkan mahasiswa agar berpengetahuan luas, berkarakter, serta berakhlak mulia. Sebagai lembaga pendidikan Islam, kami juga memberikan layanan dan fasilitas kegiatan akademik dan non-akademik yang memadai, sehingga para mahasiswa dapat mengembangkan disiplin keilmuan mereka, baik soft skill maupun hard skill. Kami juga memberikan pelayanan mahasiswa dengan service excellent. Hal itu bertujuan agar kegiatan belajar mengajar dengan sistem daring dan luring dapat berjalan dengan baik serta memuaskan semua pihak. Selain itu, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta juga terus memperkuat reputasi kelembagaan dengan menjalin kerjasama dengan berbagai pihak di bidang tridharma perguruan tinggi, baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Kami yakin bahwa UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta akan terus menjadi perguruan tinggi Islam terkemuka dan diakui secara internasional.
Keberhasilan UIN Syarif Hidayatullah dapat dilihat dari munculnya alumni yang menjadi tokoh-tokoh bangsa, pejabat negara, intelektual muslim dan politisi yang memiliki reputasi nasional hingga internasional. Cita-cita pendidikan tak terhingga, seperti langit yang tidak pernah berakhir. Kami melihat masa depan yang penuh harapan, di mana setiap insan memiliki kesempatan yang sama untuk mencapai impiannya.
Good morning to all of audience. Allow me to cordially welcome and greet our respectable excellencies, guests, and the speakers. Rector of Syarif Hidayatullah State Islamic University Jakarta, Professor Asep Saipudin Jahar, M.A. Ph.D., His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Heri Saripudin, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Galma Mukeboru, Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to the Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Dewi Justisia Mediwati, Director for Africa, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Insinyur Iskandar Panjaitan PhD, Director Export and Import Facilities, Ministry of Trade of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Dandi Rafitrandi, Researcher Department of Economics, Center for Strategic and International Studies, Professor Ali Said Sungkar, Vice Chancellor of Islamic University of Kenya, Charity Maina, Kenya Student, Indonesia Scholarship Awardee, also honor prominent journalists from Kenya here in this room, honorable all participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'du. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. Honorable guests, distinguished speakers, and all participants, welcome to today's special event, the 45th anniversary of Indonesia-Kenya diplomatic relations. With the theme, Closer Relations, Stronger Cooperation. We are honored to host this event at Syarif Hidayatullah State Islamic University Jakarta, and we extend our warmest welcome to all of you who have joined us in this important seminar on this Thursday, October 10th, 2024. Without further ado, let us now proceed to the first part of our program. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward in our program, it is now time to enjoy a cultural performance that reflect the rich heritage of Indonesia. Let us witness a captivating traditional dance performance, the Lenggang Nyai, gracefully performed by talented dancer from Arteva. Traditional dance performance, Lenggang Nyai, gracefully performed by talented dancer from Arteva, representing the Faculty of Adab and Humanities, State University of Jakarta. Please be waiting. applause to our talented dancers. Lenggang Nyai is traditional dance originating from Betawi, Jakarta, embodies both the elegance and strengths of Indonesia's cultural diversity. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Indonesia and Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We would like to respectfully invite to our distinguished guest to come forward, the Rector of UIN Jakarta, Professor Asep Saifuddin Jahar, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Heri Saripudin, the Director for Africa, Ministry of Foreign Affairs Indonesia, Ibu Dewi Justisia Mediwati, the Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Galma Mukeboru. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have with us Director of UIN Jakarta, Professor Asep Saifuddin Jahar, M.A. Ph.D., who will deliver the welcoming remarks. Professor Asep Saifuddin Jahar, M.A. Ph.D., you may take the floor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your coming to this university and this room. It is a very great honor for me as a rector of the State Islamic University. First of all, allow me to give a short welcome for the ambassador and also for you all audience here. Your Excellency Ambassador of the Kenya, distinguished guests, faculty members, students, and all the audience. It is greatly an honor for me to and privilege to welcome you to the State Islamic University, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta today. On behalf of the university, I extend our warmest greeting to His Excellency and express our excitement in the strengthening academic cooperation between UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta and also Kenya, especially probably Kenya universities in Kenya. Our university, of course, has always been committed to fostering international cooperation, and today marks an important milestone as we work toward deepening the academic relationship between Indonesia and Kenya that we have already made collaboration with the Kenya University. And this is the potential for mutual learning, research collaboration, and student exchange in FAS. And we believe that this cooperation will not only benefit our institutions, but also contribute to the broader global academic community. Your Excellency, we are inspired by Kenya's rich educational heritage and the drive for academic excellence for both our nation to share. Through this partnership, of course, we hope to create new opportunities for knowledge exchange, joint research projects, and a stronger bridge of friendship between our countries. Of course, as a rector, I look forward to a fruitful collaboration in the future, especially in strengthening our cooperation in Islamic studies and also in sciences and also in some other humanities fields. This we look forward to collaboration in the future also of how it in this year and also in the next year. I hope that Kenya and our student, our researcher can go to Kenya to do research, and also we welcome the young generation of Kenya to study here at our university. We have now 13 faculties consisting of religion and non-religious studies, like we have medical sciences, psychology, economics, Islamic studies, and so on. Of course, these faculties already well known in our university, also in national affairs, and also we now have in rank 122 in the world in the field of theology, religion, and divinity. So it is our good opportunity for Indonesia and also Kenya in order to strengthen in the future to 2025, and also we provide scholarships for the Kenya young generation who will go or will further study to our university. So our colleague at for the Office of International Affairs, of course, will do this to get in charge of these opportunities and also cooperation. And I hope it will come to realize this cooperation in 2025, 2026, and so on. Thank you very much, and I welcome you all and enjoy to stay and to have here in our university. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Asep Saipudin Johar, for insightful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great honor to invite His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Heri Saripudin, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Republic of Kenya, to deliver his remarks. His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Heri Saripudin, you may take the floor.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Director of State Islamic University, Syarif Hidayatullah, Bapak yang terhormat Profesor Asep Saipudin Johar, the Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Galma Mukeboru will shortly join with us, and also my dear colleagues, Mr. Jackson Onkoba of the Kenyan Embassy in Jakarta, Director of Export and Import Facilitation yang terhormat Bapak Dr. Iskandar Panjaitan, my real boss, Ibu Dewi, the Director of African Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Jakarta, Ibu Dewi Justicia Meidiwati, Vice Chancellor of Islamic University of Kenya, Honorable Professor Ali Said Sungkar. Welcome to Jakarta, Professor. And of course, all the distinguished participants, the students, of course, you are still my daughters, my sons, and I also, Charity is here. She is the one who got the scholarship from Kenya for pursuing master degree at the International Relations in Universitas Indonesia. And she is going to be one of the speaker at the socio-cultural affairs. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to all of you. Of course, it is indeed distinct pleasure for me to be here with in front of you, the distinguished participants of a seminar in collaborating 45th years anniversary of Indonesia-Kenya diplomatic relationships. Today, this is the second of the series of seminars that the Indonesian Embassy in Nairobi cooperating with other institutions in celebrating the 45th years. And the theme of the seminar is Indonesia-Kenya at 45. Stronger, closer relations, stronger cooperations. We do hope that today's seminars will bring fruitful deliberations, exchange of ideas and thoughts, and the outcome will be further used for the future bilateral cooperation promotion. Of course, when we talk about 45 years, it means that both countries established diplomatic relations since 1979. But our embassy in Nairobi, it was opened up in 1982. So between 1979 to 1982, our bilateral cooperation affairs was taken care by our embassy in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And this on the year 2022, the Kenyan government inaugurate embassy of Kenya in Jakarta. And the first ambassador of Kenya residing in Jakarta was His Excellency Ambassador Galmaboru. And before that, it was covered by the High Commissions of Kenya in Kuala Lumpur. So for us in our diplomatic relationship, the year of 2022 is one of the milestones in the history of our diplomatic relationships. And also in terms of the history, we also noted that a year following the 2022, good morning, Your Excellency. Yeah, in last year, August 2023, our president visited Kenya for the first time after almost 45 years. And of course, we have to celebrate that's a moment. And when we talk about our diplomatic relationships, of course, it's not only dominated by the government to government, but also between the parliaments, the businesses, media, and also people to people contacts. For the last 3 years, our the exchange of high-level government officials also happily happened. Like 2 years ago, the Speaker of Indonesian Parliament, Yang Mulia Ibu Puan Maharani, also visited Kenya. It's well accepted by the Speaker of national parliaments, and also welcome by President Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. That's on the political sides, and of course, in the political side, we have in total already on the 2022, we have 7 MOUs. It's covered not only G2G, but also B2B, and also between universities, including one of them is between Islamic University of Syarif Hidayatullah and Ummah University. And today we are going to witness the second MOU done by State Islamic University Syarif Hidayatullah and Islamic University of Kenya after this. And last year, our president also witnessed the MOU between both government, around 15 MOUs. It covers most of them are on economic cooperations. And in terms of socio-cultural, of course, our mission itself in Kenya, Pak Rektor, we are running our embassy on the 2 pillars. One pillar is on economic diplomacy as instructed by our president, and the second pillar is education diplomacy. The reason the education diplomacy, because we need for the future of our relationship heavily rely on the youth. So the more the number of youths from both sides exchange visited, exchange learning, the more closer the more stronger the relationships. So I'm glad to mention here that this year we sent more than 30 Kenyan youths got the full scholarship from Indonesia, doing bachelor, master degree, and PhD. And of course, all of those achievements is because of the close cooperations between two governments. Especially, I'm very much lucky to have our dear partner in Jakarta, His Excellency Ambassador Galmaboru, who are also very persistent, very passionate in developing cooperations. I will stop here, and with the big hope that today deliberation will produce very productive result, not only on assessing how far do we go after 45 years, but also how are we going to go for the next 45 years to come. Thank you so much. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah, wallahul muwafiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your thoughtful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to invite His Excellency Galma Mukeboru, Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to the Republic of Indonesia, to deliver his remarks. His Excellency Galma Mukeboru, you may take the floor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rector, Your Excellency Ambassador Harry, Director Dewi, Director for Africa at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, Ambassador Harry, let me take this opportunity first to apologize for coming late. The thing is stuck in the traffic jam. We tried to use several roads, and whenever we get out of the first road, we keep on getting stuck. But really, it's a honor for me to join you this morning to share with you Kenya's long history of fraternal relations with Indonesia, which not only started when we established diplomatic relations in 1979, but as far back as the Penanggung Conference in 1955, when the founding father of Indonesian nation really played a major role in terms of bringing together world leaders at the time to advocate for the liberation of the countries still under the colonial rule, including Kenya at the time, which was under colonial rule. Because of the part played by your founding father of the nation and many other patriots at that time, Kenya was able to be liberated in 1963 and became independent from Britain in 1963. The Penanggung Conference really laid the foundation for our relationship, not only for us, but many non-aligned countries at the time. Indonesia and Kenya, since we established relations in 1979, Indonesia opened its first embassy in 1982, and soon after, I think since then, we had 11 ambassadors who have served in Kenya between 1982 and now. But for Kenya, we established our first diplomatic mission in 2021. I arrived here in November of 2022 and presented my credentials 1st December 2022. Soon after I presented credentials, I think in January, we had the first visit of a minister from Indonesia, the coordinating minister for maritime affairs and investment in January of 1982, and he was accompanied by a large delegation of government officials and businesses. And soon after, we also had a visit in May of our Minister of Trade, Investment and Industry, Honorable Moses Kuria, to Indonesia, also accompanied by government officials and large number of business community. I think our relationship is not only at the government level, but also to encourage, first and foremost, contact between our peoples, to encourage interaction between our peoples. You know, for Kenya and Indonesia, we've not had much interaction. The Kenyans, when we come to the Southeast Asian nation in terms of education and many other, even trade, we tend to go a lot to Malaysia within this region. Kenyans didn't know a lot about Indonesia, but I believe in the last 1 year, a lot has happened between our two countries and our peoples, not only at the official level, at the ministerial level, and also at the heads of state level. We've had engagement between businesses, between peoples, and government officials have attended meetings here on the margin. Our Kenyan officials have participated in the World Water Forum in Bali, second Indonesia-Africa Forum in Bali, also this year. And at the ministerial level, we've had the visit of our Minister for Foreign Affairs, March in 2022, when she came and inaugurated our embassy here in Indonesia. Then we also had the visit by Minister Luhut, again in July of 2023. He first visited in January 2023, followed by a Minister for Trade in May 2023, and Minister Luhut went back again in July 2023 with still again business delegation and government officials. And then for the third time, he visited accompanying the president. The first time Indonesian president visited Kenya on a state visit in August 2023. During that visit, as Ambassador Heri has mentioned, there were MOUs and agreements that were signed during the visit of His Excellency the President. There was MOU between the Ministries of Energy and Petroleum of Kenya and the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development of Indonesia for the development of oil and gas sector in Kenya, and also geothermal in Kenya. As a follow-up of the signing of that agreement, we had a visit of our Minister for Energy and Petroleum 3 times to Indonesia for the implementation of that MOU. And that MOU, the implementation now is on course for participation of Indonesia in our geothermal sector, in our oil and gas sector. Then we also had an MOU in the area of mining and geology between our Ministry of Mining, Blue Ocean Economy, and Maritime Affairs, and also the Indonesian Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. As a follow-up of the implementation of that agreement, we've also had a lot of discussion. We have had mineral companies who have visited Kenya on a couple of times, and I believe we are now preparing to receive our Minister of Mining, Blue Ocean Economy, and Maritime Affairs over the weekend as part of implementation of that MOU. We have had MOU signed between the private sector in Kenya, or between the private sector in Indonesia and also government sector, especially we had apparel company, Busana Apparel, which signed with Export Processing Zone for investment in apparel in Kenya. We've had Biofax and Biopharma, which signed MOU during the visit of His Excellency the President of Indonesia to Kenya, and a follow-up bilateral agreement for transfer of technology for the production of vaccines in Kenya was also signed on the margin of second Indonesia-Africa Forum in Bali, and I think that is also ongoing, the production of vaccines in Kenya, mineral developments in Kenya, geothermal development, oil and gas. So there is a lot that is happening. We also had a letter of intent for promotion of investment between the two countries signed during the visit of His Excellency Joko Widodo to Kenya. We've had MOU bilateral consultation, MOU and bilateral cooperation between the two Ministries of Foreign Affairs, between the University of Nairobi and UNPAD, Indonesia News Agency and Kenya Broadcasting Corporation on news exchange and technical cooperation. In the area of trade, I think this is an area that we haven't done very well because the trade volume between our two countries is still minimal. We are at in 2023 at $463 million, and trade is very much in favor of Indonesia at 455 million. We imported goods worth 455 million from Indonesia, mainly palm oil, cooking oil, fats, margarines, natural rubber, electrical machinery, electrical and non-electrical equipment, while Kenya exported goods worth only $8 million. And that, what we exported was mainly fresh vegetables, tobacco, salts, leather, tea, and coffee. So trade is very much in favor of Indonesia, but there is a huge potential because the volume of trade between the two countries is still minimal. One area for us to improve that level of trade is investment really from Indonesia. Indonesia is now the largest economy in Southeast Asia. In terms of investment, Kenya is looking forward to collaborate with Indonesia for more investments into Kenya. In the area of multilateral cooperation, that's an area where Indonesia and Kenya need to work together closely because we live not just like in the Pendukung conference when we had help, support, and we needed each other for liberation of our countries. Even now, we still need each other. We still need the help of one another in terms, because we live in a world that is very unfair. In a world where the global north is still dominant. So as members of the global south through South-South cooperation, we need to collaborate to be able to support one another and be able to anchor one another in terms of reform of the United Nations Security Council, in terms of the reform of the unfair international financial architecture, support each other in terms of financing of sustainable development goals, and also climate finance. We need to support each other in all these areas. This is why Kenya, when Indonesia came up with a creative idea of global blended finance alliance, Kenya supported Indonesia in that, and we were the first founding members of the Global Blended Finance Alliance Secretariat for the launch of that secretariat in Bali on the margins of 10th World Water Forum in Bali in May 2020, when we became the initial founding members among the 6 countries that signed that letter of intent. So we need one another in terms of private investment for sustainable development projects, fight against human trafficking, illegal trade of game trophies, terrorism, and for access to climate finance and to vaccines and medicine and medical equipment. So I think there is a lot that we've done over the years. We've always supported one another. We are now on the ground, and a lot is now happening. Our people are interacting more. And in one area that we've really worked on the last 1.5 years that we've been around, in the area of education. There is a huge potential for us to work together. We've started working together, and it has started bearing fruits in the last 1.5 years that I've been around. Because initially, our people in Kenya, when we even send our kids for education, they tend to go a lot to Malaysia. When I came, I think we did not have maybe even 1 or 2 students in Indonesia. Today, we have about 100 students. Ambassador Harry mentioned 30 is the students that came through the government sponsorship. We've had 35 students coming through Muhammadiyah universities. We have President University, a private university, which has also given a scholarship. We have Pelindo that has given a scholarship. When you take all those in totality, we have about 100 Kenyan students that are now within Indonesia. And there are many that is coming. And through that, we are going to have interactions within our people, and we'll get to know more about our countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your inspiring remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Now we come to the keynote speech of today's seminar. It is my honor to invite Ibu Dewi Justisia Mediwati, Director for Africa, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to us all. His Excellency Ambassador Galma Boru, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Muhammad Heri Sarifuddin, the Honorable Professor Asep Saifuddin Jaha, Rector of UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Pak Dr. Iskandar, Director for Trade Facilitation from the Ministry of Trade, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Although I'm the keynote speaker, but I think Pak Dubes Heri and Pak Dubes Galma has already mentioned all that we need to hear from how we can move forward with the relations between Indonesia and Kenya. So it is true that Kenya remains our very important partner in the region, and there are many things to be done, and there are many potentials that are still untapped between the relations between the two countries. We have built the relations ever since even before 1979, as mentioned by Pak Dubes, that our first embassy was in 1979, but before that we have already had a strong relation since Bandung Conference in 1955. So I think there is our leverage to increase the tie that binds us together since the Bandung Conference. And it is also enhanced by the visit of our President to Kenya last year, and therefore this year it is also a momentum for us to increase more the relations between Indonesia and Africa, including with Kenya, with the Indonesia and Africa Forum, the second edition in Bali, September this year. So maybe I will speak a bit about what is the second Indonesia-Africa Forum that is successfully held in this September. This is the second one since our first one in 2018, in which we invited all African countries, including Kenya, to increase our cooperation in terms of economic cooperation. As we know that we have our value for historical and political strong cooperation, but we have to transform it to economic and other sectors, including education. As mentioned by Dubes Galma Boru, I'm quite surprised that many of Kenya students prefer to go to Malaysia rather than to Indonesia. That is something that we need to explore more. And I'm glad to hear that there will be like 100 students that are coming to Indonesia. And this is why we also put the priority of education cooperation into our grand design strategy for development cooperation with Africa, including with Kenya. So we will give scholarships to Kenya students through Indonesian Aid starting this year. And we hope that in the future we will increase the numbers of students coming to Indonesia. And back to the second Indonesia-Africa Forum, it was held in Bali, and it was a dynamic platform that put together all stakeholders, including business people, government officials, and all stakeholders to come together to discuss issues of common concerns of us, including the energy, health, food security, and development cooperation, in particular focus on fostering the stronger economic links between Indonesia and Africa. And we also glad that we reached business deals around 3.5 billion US dollars during that forum. that includes the cooperation with Kenya as well, between Pertamina and GDC of Kenya in the sector of geothermal, as mentioned by Ambassador Galma Boru, and also between biopharma and biovacs in terms of transfer of technology for vaccines development in Kenya. And what lies ahead of our relations with Kenya in the future? And as also mentioned by Ambassador Galma Boru, we still have a limited trade relations. Although from my note, the trade trend between our two countries grew by 13.4% from 2019 to 2023, but there are still more to be done in terms of increasing our trade cooperation. One of these tools maybe we can have the preferential trade agreement between Indonesia and Kenya, in which the two leaders have already agreed to implement this PTA, and we are now in the stage of going through with the implementation and all the discussions to really realize this potential cooperation to boost the trade between the two countries. And the other thing is we can pursue with the bilateral investment treaty, as Pak Dubes Galma Boru has mentioned that we need to have more investment cooperation, and the bilateral investment treaty that we will discuss in the future with Kenya will be another critical step forward. As it will provide the legal framework to protect investments both from Indonesia and Kenya, and ensuring the stability and predictability for investors in this field. And it will not only encourage more Indonesian companies to invest in Kenya and vice versa, but it is also bolster investor confidence to a more sustainable, longer-term economic partnerships. So I think in the future we will need some creative approach and alternative approach to increase the cooperation between the two countries. And I could not agree more that the people-to-people connection is one of the critical thing that we need to push forward, including with education cooperation that everyone mentioned here in this distinguished forum. Ladies and gentlemen, let me stop here, and we would like to see fruitful engagement and discussion on how we can move things forward, and we would like to hear creative solutions to what we can achieve together as partners, as mutual partners, and as a Global South collaboration in this forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Dewi Justisia Mediwati, for your inspiring keynote speech. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at an important moment in today's event, the signing ceremony of the Memorandum of Understanding in Education between Syarif Hidayatullah State Islamic University Jakarta and the Islamic University of Kenya. The MOU will be signed by Rector UIN Jakarta and Vice Chancellor of Islamic University of Kenya. Honorable Professor Ali Said Sungkar, we kindly invite to come forward. And this MOU will be witnessed by Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Republic of Kenya, Ambassador of the Republic of Kenya to the Republic of Indonesia, Director for Africa, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Let us now proceed the signing ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause. Right, following the signing ceremony, we will now proceed with the exchange of tokens of appreciation. Tokens of appreciation from Rector of UIN Jakarta to Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Republic of Kenya. Token of appreciation from Professor Asep Saifuddin Jahar to His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Heri Saripudin. Such amazing. Now we'll continue with the exchange of tokens of appreciation from His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Heri Saripudin to Professor Asep Saifuddin Jahar. Right, we see and witness the photo of capture this memorable moment. Thank you very much. We kindly ask to our distinguished speaker and guests who are already at the front of the stage to please position yourself for photograph. Thank you. We kindly ask the speakers to return to your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the next session of our program, the panel session. This session will be led by our distinguished moderator, Professor Maila Dinia Husni Rahim, M.A. Ph.D., Head of the Center for International Cooperation at Syarif Hidayatullah State University, Jakarta. Please join me in welcoming Professor Maila Dinia Husni Rahim to lead the discussion.
Thank you very much, the Master of Ceremony, Distinguished Rector of UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, Prof. Asep Saifuddin Jahar, His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Heri Saripudin, Ambassador of Indonesia to Kenya, His Excellency Galma Mukhe Boru, Ambassador of Kenya in Indonesia, Ibu Dewi Justisia Mediawati, Director of Africa, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, our esteemed speakers, respected lecturers, staff members, students, and all participants joining us today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is my great honor to serve as the moderator for today's seminar, held in commemoration of the 45th anniversary of Indonesia-Kenya diplomatic relation. Today's theme, Closer Relations, Stronger Cooperation, reflects our shared aspiration for deepening partnership across various sectors, education, trade, and diplomacy between Indonesia and Kenya. In the next 25 minutes, we will hear from 5 esteemed speakers, each of whom will have 5 minutes only to present their insights. The speakers are Dr. Faisal Nurdin Idris. Please come and join us here. Insinyur Iskandar Panjaitan, MSc, PhD. Pak Iskandar, please come into the stage. Mr. Dandi Rafid Randi. Yes, please, from CSIS. Yes. And our guest from far away from Kenya, from the other continent, Prof. Ali Said Sungkar. And also from Kenya, but already a student at University of Indonesia, Miss Charity Maina. I kindly ask each speaker to strictly adhere to the allocated time, which will be supported by a countdown timer. Later you could see in the screen. Displayed on the screen, you will see the final 60 seconds. 60 seconds of your time counted down as a reminder to conclude your presentation. We have a rich and diverse set of topics for today's discussion, and I look forward to the discussion that will follow during our Q&A session later on. After all presentation, we will have 30 minutes for question and answer, so I invite all the audience to actively engage by asking questions. Now, let us begin with the first speaker. Our first speaker is Dr. Faisal Nurdin Idris. For your information, he is my elementary school classmate. Well, Dr. Faisal Nurdin Idris is a senior lecturer in political science and international relations at UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. Dr. Faisal holds a PhD from the University of Queensland, Australia, and specializes in international relations, Asian studies, and political science. His most recent research addresses topics such as European Union sanctions and social solidarity during the pandemic. Dr. Faisal will present on the topic, how would the youth perceive the future of Indonesia's bilateral relations in Kenya? Dr. Faisal, the floor is yours.
Test. Thank you, Professor Maila. Good morning, Honorable Rector, distinguished speakers, dear colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm delighted to deliver my brief talk here, and thanks to the committee for having me today. Let me begin with highlighting the global context that the world is facing under pressure and is coping with the multiple and multidimensional crises, including the COVID-19 pandemic recovery, Russia-Ukraine war, the Middle East conflict. The global community is also grappling with the record of inflations and also the challenges of sustainable developments. Let me brief to highlight the first. Next slide. Okay, next slide, please. If you see the distance between Indonesia and Kenya, you cannot have an excuse that China is now the rising price of the China's presence in Africa. Now is also the challenges of our Indonesians and Kenya could get closer. Next, please. I would like to highlight the brief comparative outlook between Indonesia and Kenya. Similarity that Indonesia and Kenya gain independence from colonial rulers. that has been early mentioned by Ambassador Boru. And then the populations, Indonesia with the huge populations, and we can see the population pyramid that the youth or young generation from millennials or Generation Z have been potential for both countries. Next, please. But we have challenges. First, if we see the corruption perception index, Indonesia and Kenya still ranks below. And also it has been also a record from Freedom House that Indonesia and Kenya still partly democratic. And also from FIDEM, Varieties of Democracy, Indonesia and Kenya still has problem with the democratic governance. I think this is a challenge for both Indonesia and Kenya. Next, please. And now we turn to low visibility of Kenya to Indonesian. If you see the slide, you see that Kenya or Africa has been remotely has been remote from the eyes of Indonesians, including youth or young generations. Next, please. This is also the problem that in research here in Indonesia, Kenya still not been widely viewed by Indonesians. This is also challenges for African at large. Next, please. The current research, for instance, from my colleague Burhanuddin Muhtadi mentioned in Indonesian National Survey Project, African Union or African countries, including Kenya, has not been recorded well by Indonesian. This is also the problem that how Indonesia and Kenya can boost or can improve or close the gaps in Indonesians' perception. Next, please. So I would like to highlight. Next, please. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, and then my brief remarks in terms of political cooperation. Both Indonesia and Kenya have in common to overcome challenges in strengthening democratic governance, as you saw in my slide. This means then that Indonesia and Kenya has to move from procedural democracy to more substantive democracy. Yes, we have election, but we have still an issue in our democracy. Elite-driven mechanism that makes cooperation between Indonesia and Kenya has to engage more to people approach-centric, and then bringing people and young generations may increase the visibility of Kenya and including African countries in Indonesia. Both can advantage digital development, including information communication technologies, the rise of ITs here in Indonesia. There are a lot of influencers and TikTokers in both countries. You can both can advantage how to make Kenya and Indonesian visible to Indonesians generations, young generations, and you see that Indonesia have a huge young generation, Generation Z and millennials that last election representing 55% of registered voters. That can be important tools how to strengthen Indonesia-Kenya relationship. I think this is my last. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow, we made it, yeah, for the 5 minutes. That is very insightful from Dr. Faisal. And now we go to the next speaker. Our second speaker is Dr. Iskandar Panjaitan. Director of Export and Import Facilitation at the Ministry of Trade of Republic of Indonesia, with over 30 years of experience in the trade negotiation and policy development. Wow, yeah. He holds a PhD in agriculture economics from the University of Tokyo. His extensive expertise is in international trade has significantly contributed to Indonesia's economic growth. Dr. Iskandar will present the topic, Increasing Trade Between Indonesia and Kenya. Dr. Iskandar, you may begin.
Thank you, Prof. Maila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, His Excellencies, Ambassadors, Directors, distinguished speakers, distinguished lecturers and students. It is an honor to be here in a very good and very important meeting. I have the presentation here, if you could just show. But I don't want to follow one by one because only 5 minutes. So I would like to present, ladies and gentlemen, about the potential to increase the bilateral trade between Indonesia and Kenya. And the second one would be my suggestion, how to tap the potential between Indonesia and Kenya in terms of economic and trade. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it has been informed before by my colleagues that in global economy at present is not so good enough compared with before the pandemic, COVID-19. But it has been predicted positive this year, a bit better than last year in terms of economic growth globally. I think you just go, yeah. The presentation, I don't want to point one by one. And then the growth projection also from many sources also showing that this year would be much better than the previous one, even though still lower compared with the before the pandemic COVID. In terms of Indonesian economic growth, it is shown that very positive, 5% among the recent years. But I noticed, actually, I was amazed that Kenya economic growth is much better than Indonesia. It's quite more than 5% a year. So I see this is a very potential for Indonesia. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you see that Indonesia and Kenya actually has a very positive profile in terms of economic and trade. So why don't we, our challenge to increase the trade between Indonesia and Kenya? I think by increasing significantly between trade between Indonesia and Kenya, we would, or we will hope that economic growth much more higher than the potential that has been predicted as presented here. That is the potential. The second one, I would like to show please show the slides, must be in the middle, I think. The trade partners between Indonesia and Kenya in 2023. Okay, please move forward. Yeah, please back. Yes, no. It's 2 slides before. 2 slides. Yes. Yeah, I think the ambassador has informed us that Kenya a bit much unfavorable, yeah, compared with the Indonesia in terms of trade. But in my opinion, actually, Kenya would be the very big partner potentially for Indonesia. And I suggest also Kenya should consider also Indonesia a very potential one, because you see that beside the growth that I have already shown, that actually our position is not much worse, even though that this is the potential, we can increase much more significantly better than what we have now. Much more slide, please, move forward. Please move forward. So this is the statistic that we got from the trade map. Could you just move forward? Yes. This slide and the next slide would show you, ladies and gentlemen, actually Indonesia and Kenya, even though at the time products would be similar, but actually we have a kind of, we can exchange each other. So if we increase the trade among these products from Indonesia to Kenya and also from Kenya to Indonesia, actually we can increase the trade without harming each others. So we can, because some products are similar, but many are different. But this map actually showing that in Indonesia demand the products from Kenya, at the same time also Kenya demand the products from Indonesia. Could you just go to the next slide, please? So this is also export potential from Kenya to Indonesia. So these slides, ladies and gentlemen, by reiterating, underlining what the His Excellency Ambassador from Kenya to Indonesia, actually we have very big potential to increase. So then what would be the next challenge for both government, for both countries, how to increase this potential? I think this would be the strategic way that we need to think. The ambassador and the director, Bu M.Pd, actually has already suggested how to increase. Whether we rely on the existing business or we would like to increase our efforts in order to take this potential to increase significantly international trade between Indonesia and Kenya. So, Bu Director suggests that what about the PTA that we are negotiating at this time? Why we don't just boosting and finishing? In my opinion, actually, PTA would be much less than. Why don't we go much more further in the next time through FTA, kind of CEPA or EPA? Actually, Kenya has already. Could you just move backward, please? I surprisingly noticed that Kenya has already concluded. No, in the PTA. Yes, before. Yes, with AU. This is something is very difficult for Indonesia to finish. We have been for years to negotiate, and we hope that this year and next year maybe would. But Kenya has already this one. This is very high quality agreement. So I guess that PTA is something smaller than FTA or CEPA. So I suggest that why don't we just continue and finishing by having this, and then all the potential that I've already shown that we can tap. Yeah. Indonesia also, could you just move forward, please? Yes, we have already an agreement among the countries and regions, and including that we are doing the negotiation in some countries, and we have a kind of a plan to have another FTA or PTA. So actually both countries are ready actually to continue and to finish. By finishing this, and access market would be much more greater, much more smoother, then I believe that we can increase our international trade. So the other one proposed by the director also I noticed and underlined that we need to continue our cooperation under some forum. So that is my presentation, moderator. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pak Iskandar. And dear students, if in any ways, in any chance you will visit Kenya, don't worry. One of the famous products of Indonesia in Kenya is Indomie, ya, Indomie seleraku. Yes. Okay, thank you, Dr. Panjaitan, for your presentation. And next we have Mr. Dr. Dandi Rafitrandi, a researcher at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS Indonesia, as an expert in international trade, economic policy, and regional integration. His research focuses on trade agreement, supply chains, and the global competitiveness of Indonesian products. Dr. Dandi will present on the topic, competitiveness of Indonesian products in the Kenyan market. Dr. Dandi, please proceed.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, His Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. For your information, I'm not a doctor yet, so I'm still just hopefully in the near future, but yeah, not yet. So I'm just gonna pick up some insights from the previous speakers that highlighting Indonesia and Kenya economic relation is still quite limited. It's actually pretty reasonable. Pa Iskandar, for example, maybe, of course, you know, the gravity model that we use as an international trade economist that seeing how much the prospect of these two countries will have in the future. It's actually because of the first one, as already shown by our speakers, the previous speakers, is distance. The second one is actually GDP. So that two variables that actually accounted for which we can actually project how much or how big the trade and economic relation between two countries. So it's natural for Indonesia and Kenya still have quite limited, but I think as already mentioned by other previous speakers, the potential also there. I also want to highlight that this gravity model is not cannot really capture the people-to-people interaction between two countries. The cultural aspect of these two countries, for example. So I really delighted that that I listened to the previous speakers that Indonesia and Kenya want to pursue in a more socio-cultural approach, education approach, that I think it will strengthen both social and also economic relation between two countries. But nevertheless, as Pa Iskandar's presentation also shown that Malaysia is actually the top 5 of Kenya's countries to import to. So I think this is actually a question for Indonesia. How can we boost our export to Kenya? I think, of course, one of the aspects is Malaysia is probably, and Kenya has the similarities as a Commonwealth country that I think there is some cultural background and I think closeness in terms of that. But coming from the statistics, 90% of Malaysia export, it's only consists of 2 products. It's palm oil and oil. So it's really about the competitiveness of these products. So I think if we want to really see the increasing trade in the future between Indonesia and Kenya, we really need to strategize what kind of product that we have a high number of competitiveness in Indonesia. And then the next point that I would like to make is that I also really happy that if in the near future we will have a free trade agreement or PTA or maybe some more ambitious one, SEPA with Kenya, because from the statistics we know that Kenya MFN tariff is still very high. It's actually twice as big as Indonesia. Indonesia is around, the tariff is around 6% and Kenya is 12%. So I think FTA or PTA will automatically boost our trade between countries to expand our market from both sides. I think it's also really important to highlight that we cannot do trade relation just one side. for example, Indonesia just export, but Indonesia also need to identify what kind of products that Indonesia need from Kenya, for example. So I think if we're talking about trade, it's always export and import. And I think the goal is here to expand the market for both countries. Looking at the trade statistics as well, I think there are a couple of products that is quite promising for Indonesia's perspective. For example, plastics, pharmaceuticals, and also iron and steel. And I think this kind of products is really important for Indonesia because we started to having this downstreaming strategy, and we want to also explore our basic manufacturing sectors. Then I think African countries and Kenya more especially will be a good market potential in the future. And I also want to emphasize one of the sector that it might need to be highlighted more is the energy transition, especially regarding the critical minerals. I think many African countries and also Indonesia have a lot of interest in this. Maybe exchange of shared experience, how to have more sustainable standard in terms of mining. I think that will be beneficial for two countries. My last point will be, I'm very also happy to hear from the ambassador how Indonesia and Kenya can actually cooperate in terms of more multilateral collaboration, because as we already know that African Union is also one of the member of the G20, and I think we can collaborate more with the G20 platforms, and I think Kenya and Indonesia also have shared interests, for example, how to reform the international financial institutions such as IMF and World Bank, and also more importantly the WTO, that I think most of the global South countries think that need a very substantial reform in the future. So I'll stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pak Dandi. Okay, thank you very much, Pak Dandi, for shedding light of the competitive position of Indonesian products in Kenya's market and vice versa. And next, our fourth speaker is Prof. Ali Said Sungkar, the Vice Chancellor of the Islamic University of Kenya. Prof. Ali holds a PhD in Islamic Studies and has a distinguished career in academia with extensive experience in East Africa and numerous publications on Islamic culture, history, and dakwah movements. Prof. Ali will be speaking on the topic education cooperation between universities in Indonesia and Kenya as means of diplomacy. Prof. Ali, please take the stage.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And good morning, everyone. Due to the time constraint, we'll not go to the protocols. I will just say the excellencies, the ambassadors, the director for Africa, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the rector for Yuyun University, members of the panel, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you here, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's my pleasure to be here this morning, actually to represent the Islamic University of Kenya with what we've just witnessed, the signing of MOU. I will just go straight to the few points that I prepared to commemorate this 45 years occasion of bilateral and diplomatic relationship between Indonesia and Kenya under the theme of closer relations, stronger cooperation. Indeed, with the previous presentation that we've just heard, we are now coming much closer, and we are becoming in our relationship and cooperation much stronger in all fields, including the academic where I represent. The area of trade cooperation actually, next slide please, though it has been presented here as something starting between the two nations, but reading from the past, from the history, this has been actually a long part between these two nation or two areas. Maybe by then the names were not what we call today Indonesia and Kenya. It could be other name here, it could be other name on the other side. Let me just use the term East Africa, or at least the coastal region. And specifically the Yemenis at that time were the crucial and common factor in bringing these two regions or two areas together in terms of trade. There were many actually Indonesian products in East African coast, primarily Kenya and Tanzania, for a very, very long time ago. And that has affected even the social, cultural practice of the people over there. I believe we even have some common words in our national language, Kiswahili and Malayu, that are still common. It's due to that trade relationship that has been there for a very, very long time ago. Some people now looking at the situation today, some researchers like Hawking in 2012 has argued that the shift from a state-based approach typically centered on the role of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs approach the role of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and professional diplomats through a multi-actor approach is a hallmark of the new world diplomacy. That could be true based on also what we have just seen from the presentation, but I would also like to emphasize that this multi-actor approach has not been new, has been actually very old, with the example of Yemen, as I've just mentioned. We all know that on exerting hegemony, all big countries in the past, all empires would like to expand and extend their domination and dominion over other nations. In the past, they will use the hard power, the economic sanctions, invasions, wars, sometimes even intimidation, to gain the hegemony or to gain the domination of other places, of other interests. As we could see clearly, the colonial era that has expanded in many of countries, maybe in the third world and the rest of the world. In the 19th century, or maybe even before, I think for Indonesia was much earlier than the rest. But the same practice was also continued by the United States of America in the 20th century. However, with the turn of the 21st century, things now began to change with the emergence of the new terms of soft power to replace the hard power. The soft power, and I've seen nations or countries that are playing key role in at least bringing collaboration, cooperation between nations, brokering peace between conflicting countries that are happening around the world. Just to mention a few examples, I know the state of Qatar, as a small country as it is, as a weak country militarily, but it played a bigger role recently in displaying the soft power by bringing the conflicting nations between Ethiopia, Eritrea, conflict within the nation like in Sudan, and most recently what is happening in Palestine, the war, the ongoing war between Israel and the Palestinians and the Hamas. We all see that it is Qatar that is playing that key role in trying to build and bring peace once again into that region. Next, please. Next slide. The major tools of soft power that we've just talked about use is economic cooperation, peace brokerage, and other tools. Next slide, please. Now we come to the education diplomacy between Indonesia and Kenya. Again, from the previous presentation, I've presented to us the clear picture of what the diplomacy is doing to promote trade, partnership, and cooperation between our two nations. We have seen also Indonesia that recently has been very active in promoting education diplomacy. Very good example we can also see from this room as well, and from the presentation that was made earlier in the first session of the students from Africa or from Kenya who are now growing in number, and I'm sure the number will grow even faster after the signing of this MOU. The education diplomacy now could be the next tool of soft power that can be used by nations, Indonesia being a main country in using this soft power through the tool of education. However, as we've seen, it was asserted before that not many Kenyan students will explore Indonesia compared to your neighbor country, Malaysia. But I remember that Malaysia did not start long in attracting Kenyan students. I mean, not many years. And when it started with a few scholarships, but now many Kenyan students are actually now coming and with their own money to pay the fees. With Indonesia now coming into this area, let's begin with offering the scholarship to Kenyan students as you just started. And I'm sure over the years, many students in Kenya would like to explore. Kenyan students usually like to explore foreign countries because they want to bring that relationship. And these students, when they come here, they become tools of relationship as ambassadors of their own countries, Kenya. But when they finish their studies, when they go back home, they become the ambassadors of your country. They become the ambassadors of Indonesia. I believe education diplomacy is going to work very well and is going to enhance the Ministry of Foreign Affairs political diplomacy. And with the signing of the MOU that has been witnessed, I really want to appreciate the entire management of Yuyun University, as I also convey to you all the greetings from the Islamic University of Kenya, from the chairman of the board of trustees there, as well as the chairman of the university council and the entire Senate members who are all supportive of this agreement and will want to see that this agreement is fully implemented for the benefits of not only the two institutions, but at large for the benefit of the two nations as well. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Prof. Ali, for your insightful discussion on how educational partnership can strengthen diplomatic ties between two nations. And our final speaker is Miss Charity Maina, a Kenyan student currently pursuing a master's degree in international relations at the University of Indonesia. With 7 years of experience in media, she is passionate about youth empowerment, strategic communication, and digital inclusion, particularly for women in Africa. Ms. Charity will present of the topic, the experience of studying in Indonesia and its significance for bilateral Indonesia-Kenya relations. Ms. Charity, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. His Excellencies, Ambassador of Kenya to Indonesia, the Ambassador of Indonesia to Kenya, Honorable Directors, members of the panel, lecturers, fellow students, esteemed guests joining us here today and online, Selamat pagi. Yeah, we would maybe a small introduction again to just show how the interactions between two countries can bear fruits. Nama saya Charity Maina, panggil saya Shari. Saya mahasiswa UI, Universitas Indonesia, S2, Ilmu Hubungan Internasional. So I'll stop there before I further embarrass myself with bahasa. So, but it's an honor to be here with, in front of all of you. I would like to emphasize on the importance of strengthening Kenya-Indonesia relations, and particularly through education cooperation. Next slide. Because of the essence of time, I may not go through everything. So next slide, please. I'll try to be as quick as possible. I think my introduction has been done, but I would like to highlight something particularly I noticed when I arrived in Indonesia. I got a scholarship at UI through UI Grade, and the first thing I noticed is that there were few Kenyans, and there were so many other students from all over Africa, actually, particularly Gambians and Zimbabweans were so many. And so I started noticing we are very few. And so through that, I developed an initiative. It's called S.Sos.I, which is Scholarship Opportunities for You. And through that, I endeavor to connect our Kenyan students and more so students from developing countries to scholarship opportunities in Asia. And so, yes, you can clap. Thank you so much. So we've seen increased cooperation in education between the two countries. I'm so happy actually to hear the numbers that have improved from up to about 100 now. And actually this year we received 30 students. In my university, I'm now no longer alone. We have students who have received scholarships, and some of the scholarships that we have is, as you can see from the screen, we have the Dharma Siswa scholarship. I think this is the longest existing one. And then we have the KNB scholarship, that offers master's and doctoral programs for the Global South. We have TIAS and other scholarships, including the one in this university, UIN, the UI Grade, UIII, LPDP, UGM, and many others. The reason I emphasize on this is because I know there are students in Kenya watching, and some of them always do not. The actual challenge is that many Kenyans actually do not have access to these opportunities. They do not have, they do not know the platforms or the scholarships that are offered. So next slide. So we've seen a big role that education has on strengthening bilateral trade and diplomacy, and one of them is a bridge of cultural, social, and economic ties. So there have been massive, I'd give an example of the massive potential that is there existing. I noticed while I was studying, I was looking at opportunities between Kenya and Indonesia that we can, that have not yet been realized. So I realized Indonesia is doing very well in e-commerce, and especially with platforms such as Tokopedia, which we can learn as Kenyan from that. And also Indonesia can learn from Kenya as well, because we are leading also regionally in fintech with platforms such as M-Pesa and others. So we can have technological exchanges in that. There's still a gap to be realized in that. And then there is also significantly enhanced bilateral trade and diplomacy. So by education, by cooperation in education, when we come here, we realize the challenges that are existing in trade, and we are able to address that through participation in various forums. Next slide, please. So I had been asked to share about my personal experience here, but I'll cut this short, very short. So being here has exposed me to cultural experiences where I have been to 9 cities in Indonesia so far, which is actually exciting. Recently, I had an opportunity to attend a summer course in UNAS, which exposed me to great insights on trade, and particularly learning how to make batik, and possibly we can see how that can also be explored. So I also had an opportunity to visit factory in Pati, and others have been able to participate in sporting activities here as an MC. And it's great when we cooperate between the two countries in such areas, getting to learn each other's culture. Next slide. Next slide. I would like to skim through this and say that the youth have a big role to play in strengthening Kenya and Indonesia relations, and the youth includes me and all the students that are here today. So we've been told, of course, there is a scarcity in perception of Kenya and Indonesia. So it's up to you to ask yourself, what role can you play for more Kenyans to get to know Indonesia? And what role can I play for more Indonesians to know more about Kenya? And to actually be opened up to these opportunities, because we are the leaders of tomorrow. Next slide. So in my conclusion and final outlook is that the two countries stand to gain immensely through education cooperation. And by deepening education cooperation, we can lead to a shared growth of innovation and enhanced diplomatic ties. Through a case study that we did, even as I conclude, we had a case study on looking at the trade gap that is existing between Indonesia and Kenya. And some of the challenges we realized were the bureaucratic processes that are there, and especially with regards to the PTA, as some of my panelists have mentioned. And so when that is fastened, then I think these are some of the things that can be looked into. And also, we also realize something which is major with regard to education, which is there is still need for research, because many investors coming from Kenya to Indonesia are faced with information, would I say, lack of proper information. So they're not well acquainted with business shocks that they find. So there is need for both countries to cooperate and collaborate on research when it comes to business investments and vice versa. And so those are my insights. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Shari. Yeah, and His Excellency and Ibu Bapa esteemed guests, we are also proudly to mention to you, along with you, our students, Indonesian students studying here from Faculty of Dakwah and Communication, and from Faculty of Social and Political Science, students from Faculty of Education, and also international students from Gambia. Anyone from Gambia here? Yeah, Gambia, South Africa. South Africa? No? Okay, Uzbekistan. Yes, Basit, you're from Uzbekistan. Yes, and then from Cambodia. Yes, yes, some from Cambodia, and also from Thailand. Yes, yes, Thailand, yes. Thank you so much, everyone, to attend this session. We actually passed the time. But if there is one or two burning questions, I think we can manage for another 5 minutes. Yes? Anyone has a question that need to be answered? Yes, please.
Thank you for opportunity, moderator. I think I have some question for distinguished speaker. How can both countries enhance economic cooperation, particularly in potential sectors that have not been fully utilized? How can both countries enhance economic cooperation, particularly in potential sectors that have not been fully utilized?
Okay, so because the question is about trade, I think Pak Iskandar and Pak Dandi will be the person who are going to answer. Please, Pak.
Yeah, thank you. I think that would be a very good questions. Yes, of course, in my opinions, the two countries are doing very great things to enhance the cooperation, as we have already heard from our ambassadors. So this is ongoing process. But actually, we can boost up the potential. My opinion is PTA or the next time FTA, I think it's better to be processed and concluded. Thank you.
And Pak Dandi, please.
Yeah, I have to echoing this, the same answer as Pak Iskandar, because as I previously mentioned, PTA and FTA is a good platform for both countries to expand the market from both sides, both export and imports. And I think from Indonesia and also Kenyan perspective, it is very important to sort of have like a self-assessment in terms of what sort of products that they actually want to export or import, something like that. So I think analysis in both countries will be very important. And then if we can actually go something further than FTA and PTA, for example, maybe having a MOU on energy transition or critical minerals. I think the trend right now is something like that. So we really need to have also, other than the FTA and PTA, we also need some targeted sectors that we really need to push forward, for example. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Iskandar and Pak Dandi. Are you from international relation? Yes. Okay. So yeah, because you seems to know what you're asking. Okay. The last chance. One burning question. Another question, or anyone? Yes, please buzz it.
Okay. My question is about. What are some successful examples which, of cooperation in Islamic education between Indonesia and Kenya, and what lessons can be learned from them?
It's about cooperation, Islamic universities?
Islamic education.
Islamic education between two countries. Prof. Ali, you may start with the answer. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul Basit.
Yes.
Okay. The MOU that have been signed this morning, it's clearly on academic cooperation between OIN and Islamic University of Kenya in the area of faculty exchange, research or joint research, scholarships. So we hope that students from both sides, students and the academic staff, will come together, will benefit from each other, will share the experiences. So it's going to be joint and mutual benefits for all. And for you, the Indonesians, you are also very much welcome to come and explore the Islamic University of Kenya. You can join us physically or even online. We have just introduced the distance learning, that is ODEL. So we can be together on that shared platform. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ali. I think we need to conclude here, today's seminar. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to all of our esteemed speakers, our distinguished guests, and everyone who contributed to making this event a success, all the team that making this event a success. We are truly honored to have witnessed such a fruitful discussion and reflections on how we can continue to deepen the relationship between Indonesia and Kenya. It is my sincere hope that as we commemorate the 45th Indonesia and Kenya diplomatic relations, we will continue to build stronger cooperation in education, trade, and diplomacy, ensuring that the ties between Indonesia and Kenya flourish for many more decades to come. Thank you, and may our shared future be prosperous. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now, I would like to hand the session back to our Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Professor Maila, for your dedication and contribution for lead the seminar session. Ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the end of today's event, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all of you for your participation and valuable contribution. On behalf of Syarif Hidayatullah, State Islamic University Jakarta, I would like to once again thank everyone for attending today. We look forward to continuing our collaborative efforts and fostering even closer ties in the future. And to all of the speakers, Ambassador of Republic of the Kenya, and to the Republic Indonesia, and Ambassador to Republic Indonesia to Republic Kenya, please follow the sign to Unique Club where lunch will be served. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. We have prepared a special meal for the speakers and continue the discussion in a more informal setting. And to all of our audience, we have prepared too the special meal. Look, a lunch box on the front of the diorama. You can take the lunch box now. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Nusantara, the nation of the Garuda.
Garuda.